and welcome to the Artist Spotlight right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com. My name is Trey Snide here. We're actually live in studio, but this is recorded for presentation at this time. We have a great event coming up. The Blenders and Local Honey will be on April 30th for an event, Autism Society of North Carolina, sponsored by Keller Williams Platinum Realty, Mr. Tim Bilbo, a great friend of mine. He's putting on this fantastic event over in Garner. But first, how are y'all today?
Doing all right.
Awesome.
Good. So thank you coming to all the way to the studio here in Oxford. Miss Cara Yates, she is the co-front of the Blenders and Local Honey, but also Mark Peebles. He is Mr. Blender, shall we say?
The other coach.
The other guy. The other one. So let's start with you. Let's talk about who you are, introduce you as only you guys could.
Okay. Well, I've been singing since I was born almost. Hooked up with this fella on the fly by accident almost about 2 years ago. Been trying to get that Local Honey Country girl power thing.
There you go.
Going for about 7 years. Finally got it off the ground this year. So we're all about bringing music to people and making them walk down that memory lane with songs they know, and sometimes we give them songs they don't know and broaden their horizons.
Yeah.
Sometimes ones they forgot.
Sometimes
I love
it's
it.
ones they forgot they knew. Yeah. It's all about helping people just enjoy the moment. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I kind of look at it as we want to give them some entertainment. You come out to hear people play, you want to kind of forget about regular life for 3 or 4 hours, and we try to help them do that and take them down memory lane to another spot.
There you go.
Kind of let today's troubles out the window for a little while until they get back home at least.
There you go. So, where did the band originally start?
Actually in Nightdale. I had gone to Greenville, but I've been went to East Carolina and loved it in Greenville, and I stayed down there 25 years before I decided to come back home.
So go Pirates, eh?
Go
That's
Pirates. Right. So I met our lead guitar player down there, and he and I have been playing together since 1985 in multiple bands. And then in '07, my job got kind of situated. I was a school teacher, and my program got cut in Pitt County, but they still had it in Wake County. So I moved up here and took a job and kind of left my guitar player down there in Greenville. And I got back with some guys I used to play with years ago, all the way back to high school. And they had met this female singer, and they were wanting to put a little band together, and they needed a bass player. And I said, man, just move back.
I got you. I
Worked
know
out
that.
Perfect.
That's
I
all
just
me.
happened to know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got back and started playing, and we put it together and formed the Blenders. And Joe wasn't playing with anybody in Greenville, and so we said, don't you want to drive up here? I know it's a long way, but we'd love to have you. And he said, I'll come try it out. So we didn't know how long that would last, and here we are, and he's still been driving for, he's been coming up for 11 years now.
Yeah.
So he's been driving back and forth for 11 years.
Every weekend.
For rehearsals, every weekend, every gig.
So what's he do there? What's his
he's
full-time?
retired now. He used to work at Grady White Boats.
Okay.
He worked there for 25 years. And, so he stayed down there, and he and my sister lived together down there. They've been together for, I don't know how many years, but a long time. And so they come back and forth. So I see my sister, my best friend playing
That works out
guitar,
perfect,
and they come up here and we have a good time. They go back home, and so it's kind of like a second home.
11 years.
Well.
Look, I was driving back and forth, ultimatum for my wife, okay? Now, of course, 7 years later and a 4-year-old. She gave me, I was living at the beach. She was living here. And that's about a 3.5 hour trip one way. So we're thinking, let's move here or we're kind of done. Now, you can't really do that to your best friend, but have you asked him to move here? How's
Many
that work?
times.
Okay.
My sister's asked him many times to move here too, but he bought the house he actually grew up in down there, and he loves
That's
it.
perfect.
And it's one of them things that's hard to get away, and so he just kind of looks at it. I'll just drive up here and do what I do in Raleigh, and then we'll come back home and stay here during the week. And yeah, we've tried multiple times to try to get him up here, but, to no avail.
There you go.
He really loves it down there. So he's willing to drive. He says, I just look at that as that's how I get to
Let's do it.
do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is I get in the car and drive up here and do it with y'all. So
Wow. Well,
it's
good
worked
deal.
out,
So we have Mark Peebles with co-founder of Blenders. Of course, Cara Yates with co-founder of Blenders and the local Honey Band. So let's kind of talk about the event more itself. Mr. Tim Bilbo has been a great friend of mine. Of course, you've known him for quite a while as well. It's the Spring Fling, the Autism Society of North Carolina on April 30th, and it's going to be at Crafty's Burgers and Brews, which is 1177 Timber Drive in East Garner, North Carolina. That's 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So how are you guys able to kind of get involved with Tim, but also this event?
Well, Tim hired me years ago to do a church fundraiser for him with a totally different band, but and we just grew close and have remained close. And he's just great people. Him and his wife Diane are fantastic people. And he, because we have had this close relationship for so long, he knows a lot about the autistic part of my life, not just my own autism that I have learned more about because my youngest children are both autistic.
Oh, okay.
So I have an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old that are both on the spectrum. And learning about them, learning how to better help them grow and learn themselves, I learned what it was about me when I was young that I didn't know. Oh, this is why, these certain things were difficult for me. And it's not just my kids, and it's not just me. There are members of our bands, both bands, both my bands, and a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but several of our musician friends that are in our close-knit community that are either on the spectrum themselves.
Oh, well, okay.
And or have kids, that are on the spectrum.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is something. This is something that kind of it hits home really hard for a lot of us, and and Tim knows that, and he worked with the karate school. He owned the karate school for several years, and he had some of his students there were also on the spectrum, so he had that firsthand view also, and I guess just knowing what I do, with both bands and a regular job and being a mom to two autistic kids that are like this, they're like night and day, and the struggles that I have myself with, like right now, not knowing when to shut up.
Keep going. No, you're fine.
It's because there are little.
We don't have dead air.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, no, we're good.
There are little things that are apparent in autism to autistic people that people who aren't familiar with autism, they don't recognize those little things. So anything that we can share to help more people become more knowledgeable about autism, it makes a better world.
Yeah, absolutely.
My kids have opportunities to grow in a different way because more people know what autism is than I had when I was a kid. Yeah. I was kind of lumped in with, other kids with, other varied abilities that weren't autism, that were addressed in an entirely different way that wasn't helpful for me. So it's not just Rain Man, and that's what I thought when my oldest, when my girl was born. And I thought, well, no. I remember I was mad. I walked out of that doctor's office. I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean autism? Because I thought Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, you know. I thought that was it, and that wasn't her. So, you know, I went down that rabbit hole, and I learned everything that I could learn, and in so doing, I learned about me.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah.
I learned about other people in my family.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it doesn't mean that you don't get to live a good, productive, fulfilled life. It just means you get there a different way.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about doing these kind of events. It brings awareness to the autism because unfortunately, unless you have been a part or a family member, you just don't know.
Right.
And I love the story, the fact that when your daughter was born, you know, no way this is, and it sounds bad, no way this is my kid. This is not it. Yeah, I mean, and so that's what I love about these events because little things. So I did a Holocaust commemoration event in Raleigh on Sunday, right? And a lot of stuff what they were talking, I didn't know, and so things like this will allow other people, and this is going to be a fantastic event. 2 bands there, going to do a 50-50 raffle, and of course, great food and great beer. But you look at it as it gives awareness to a situation that unfortunately a lot of people don't know about.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and you know, there are people still in my life that have no idea that you know I'm on the spectrum. You know,
Until they hear this interview.
That's right. Well, I guess I don't know everything about when it comes to autism because nobody in my family has that autism trait and kind of thing. So it's going to be really cool to kind of be a part of it.
I didn't either, but I'm a school teacher, and then I started having kids in my classes, and of course, start opening your eyes then. And it's a whole different spectrum of how you handle it. And
Absolutely,
do things, you know.
absolutely. All right, so let's talk about what can our listeners be able to hear when they go to these events, and we'll start with the local honey side here.
The local honey side is all about that girl power. I got Miss Becca Lautier. She is at her day job, couldn't make it here.
That's a great last name, by the way.
Right?
That is a great
Becca
last
Lautier,
name.
she is professionally schooled musician. She plays guitar and a voice like an angel. So she and I do all the vocals. We do have a couple of guys in the band that are backing vocals. We have another guitarist, Joey DeMattos. He's our youngster. He's baby Joey. He just joined us about 2 months ago, so he's coming on board real good. We've got a veteran, Andy Dossett, on bass. And the father of all of us honeys, Mr. Bryant Dennis. He is old school. He's played on the Grand Ole Opry. He played on the Bill Pollard Show for years.
Wow.
With Bill Pollard, he has toured the country. He was actually the drummer on Dawkins, believe it or not. No, not Dawkins, Dio. Dio's very first album, the Elf album, before Ronnie James Dio became
Yes,
Dio.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, he was the drummer on that album, so he's old school.
Around the block.
Yeah, and he liked country music, but didn't have nothing to do with that girl stuff until me.
You talked him into it.
I talked him into it. Yeah, I talked him into it. So yeah, we do everything from Patsy Cline to Carrie Underwood. We do some Americana like Jillian Welsh. We do some Joan Osborne, some of that pop rock crossover stuff. You know, so if it's got a strong female presence in front, you know, the original music, that's the stuff that we cover.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So, and Mark, we'll go about with the Blenders.
The Blenders are a little different. We're doing classic rock, and it's a variety of classic rock. I mean, we do soul, Aretha Franklin, B.B. King stuff, all the way up to Aerosmith and Bad Company, and I mean, we're all and then everything in between. So, and it works really good because Cara and I both sing leads, so I'm able to do some guy stuff. She does female stuff, and we support each other with harmonies, and it just kind of blends really well. It was funny because at the time that I met Cara, we had put the band together. It was just 4 guys. and one of the guys didn't work out, and we had already booked some gigs, and we had 2 or 3 gigs coming up right quick, and we had just met Cara and Andy as well, and said, man, we're in a bind. This guy didn't work out, and we got gigs. We got to go play them. And they said, well, we'll come fill in and just, help you through and get you through these next few gigs and help you out and, see what happens. And we said, okay, that'd be great. And they came, and I mean, the very first gig, we went, whoa,
What?
wait a minute here. It meshed.
Yeah.
And then we went, well, maybe we need to keep on doing this a little more. And before you know it, it's 2.5 years later, and
Wow.
we're still doing it and going as strong as we've gone in the past. So I think our biggest thing is we got a little something for everybody. If you don't like what song we're playing now, hang on to the next one.
Yeah.
It's going to
Just
probably
wait
be
a
totally
couple more
different, and
minutes.
then you'll be up dancing and carrying on with
There you
that
go.
one. So we try to do the whole spectrum where we got a little something for everybody. And even though we don't have much country backgrounds where she goes with the other band, we actually do a couple country
Okay.
songs that this blonde
That's
female
your
singer
influence.
kind of twisted our arm and got us to do. So, I mean, we're talking about Motown, country, classic rock, blues. We kind of do it all.
But I got West Virginia in my blood.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, we would like to say. Ain't
But
nothing
the
wrong with
thing
that.
with Cara is Cara's not, and we were playing at the Owl's Roost a month or so ago, and this one couple there at the end of the night was going, we really love John. People say, yeah, we love you, John. That's great. Goes, we thank you. But he's going, no, you don't understand. He said, y'all don't just get up there and play. You entertain the crowd. Cara's out here, and I have a wireless. I go out into the crowd and play, and she works the whole crowd on her back, goes to the individual tables, and everybody's looking all around to see where she is, where that voice coming from kind of thing. It's not just sit up there and play. And the guy's going, nobody does that. You guys just are all over, and it's just great. You're entertaining the crowd. And I got to thinking about it. It's a little different from what most people do. Most people just get to stand up there and play their thing and go home.
I gotta move.
Yeah.
It gets in me, and I gotta move.
She's got to move. And the funny thing is, Jim Keller, who owns the Owl's Roost, he said it tickles him to death because she'll take that mic and she'll go up to people in the crowd, guys in particular, who are standing there, and they're just, yeah. And then Cara comes up and gets all on them and singing to them, and they turn into a
That little
stone,
red.
I do. I sing to the wives too.
Yeah, sure.
I
And
make
they're all up
sure.
there like this, and they're looking around like, what should I do? He laughed. He said that tickles him to death. He gets a bigger
It's all
charge.
just fun.
And that's what it is. We're all about having fun. It's a lot of work if you're not having fun, but we make sure we have fun.
Absolutely. No, I love that.
Hopefully that comes across to the people who are out in the
Bring them
crowd
on
as
the
well.
ride
That's
with
right.
us, you know?
That's right.
That's right. Again, Cara Yates joins us, co-front of the Blenders and Local Honey, but also Mark Peebles joins us. He is with the co-front of the Blenders. Now, Cara, how difficult is it to kind of get yourself with 2 bands? How does that work? I know now the one coming up on April 3rd is a little bit easier, obviously,
It
because you
is.
just kind of stay on stage.
It is.
But the other one, how do you kind of make your time for 2 different bands? How's that work? My wife says I do too much now.
Okay, well, let's see. I don't know if you can. Hold on.
One for her
This
calendar.
would be the easiest way.
Holy cow!
Can you see that?
Let me pull it up to the.
Can you see that?
I don't know if you can't see that on the camera. I don't think you can. But man, well, you're a lot more organized than I am.
I have to do
Way
this.
more.
Yeah.
There
She
ain't
does.
no other way.
We
that
have
I can do
we
this.
have a master calendar that she puts gigs on for both bands.
Okay, there you go.
A
And
dry
we've-
erase calendar on the back of the
we've
door
said-
at the practice space where
Yeah.
both bands practice.
First come,
And
first serve. If
first
it's
come,
on the
first
calendar, that one's booked. We can't do that. Have to do a
Yeah.
different
There
day.
you go.
Because I can't be both gigs at
At the same
the same
time.
time.
Yeah.
Except for, you know.
Yeah, this one's gonna
this
be
one will
easy.
be
Yeah.
easy.
See? Maybe we
that's-
need to do more of those.
There you
Make it
go.
easy.
There you go.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
No, I love the fact that you guys are going to be there here for the Spring Fling, sponsored by Keller Williams, Platinum Realty, Mr. Tim Bilbo. This is going to be at Crafty's Burgers and Brew, and all this is to raise awareness for the Autism Society of North Carolina. Raise some money. They're going to do some 50-50 drawings at 5 p.m. Local Honey is going to be on at 2, from 2 to 3:30 p.m., and the Blenders from 4 to 6. Is there
Right.
anything else that we want our listeners to know about what you guys are doing that day or about the band in general?
There there is going to
Yep.
be a Venmo. I'm going to put a Venmo square
Yep.
on where you guys, if you can't make it out, you want to, throw a little money towards a good cause, you'll be able to do so there. I believe we're going to try to do this every year.
Oh, awesome.
From conversations I've been having with Tim, we would like to try to do this every year.
Okay.
April is Autism Awareness Month nationwide. Light it up blue. Make sure you're inclusive. Make sure, just give everybody a chance to be the best that they can be, no matter, how different that might look. We're all in the same boat in this life, we all want the same things. We want to grow, we want to love, we want to be happy. Just because, you happen to have, you happen to be autistic doesn't mean that you don't want those things and aren't capable of those things. So, it's just a little harder to get there.
I can listen to you talk about that all day. I love it.
And she
I
can.
love it. No, I love it.
I can.
Where can our listeners find some more on your social media tags? Let's shout that out as well.
Yeah, we got on Facebook. I'm still gearing this thing up, so we have a Facebook page. Local Honey Country is our tag on Facebook. You can find Local Honey there. The blenders, we've got it's the Blenders NC. Otherwise, you'll find some little.
You're trying to buy a blender to mix up a drink.
So
But
That's not gonna work.
NC,
Yeah.
that's the one that
Add
kind
little
of pulls
NC,
you in there.
The Blenders NC on Facebook.
And
That'll
there's
get us to the
video and
blenders.
audio
Okay.
on there.
Yeah, we've
And of course, calendar, places we
Calendar.
play. And
we're always pushing out events. We'll be pushing this one out, or I'll be pushing this one out when we get home.
and then letting us know she did it.
There you
Right.
go. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
We also, like you just mentioned before, you're going to have a QR code. It's actually the one you're watching on the screen right now will be, all you got to do is take a picture of it, and the money will directly to Autism Society of North Carolina to just raise awareness and raise funds for a beautiful cause. Guys, thank you so much for coming up to the studio here in Oxford.
Appreciate you having us.
Safe travels home, of course, but we will see you this coming up weekend
Saturday.
on
Yes, sir.
April 30th. Live music by Local Honey and the Blenders, and that's at Crafty Burgers and Brews. That's 1177 Timber Drive Timber Drive East, Garden, North Carolina, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can follow Tim Bilbo on Facebook right now. You can be able to find some more information about this, and if you want to be involved, sponsor, give some money, please. It's going to a great cause. Guys, God bless you. Thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Cara Yates, she's co-front of the Blenders and Local Honey, and of course Mark Peebles, co-front of the Blenders. My name is Trey Snide, right here on Next Door Radio
My
for
band
our
husband.
Artist Spotlight. We'll see you guys later.